My name is Stacy. For those of you who don't know, I'm a little bummed out because I just recorded 40 minutes of a podcast. My first podcast, 40 minutes. It was great. It was juicy. And then I got a phone call and I went to record the ending and it's gone. 40 minutes. I sat here on the floor of my bedroom. And it was such a great podcast, and I am literally so sad because I was so happy about it. I was genuinely happy about it. And now it's gone. I couldn't find it anywhere. I didn't save to my drafts or anything, and I'm a total noob at this, so it was really hard to, I don't know, but it's gone. What can I do? Nothing except just get back up and record this again. So again, my name is Stacy. If you do not know, most of you are probably coming from one of my social medias where I told you guys that my podcast was going on. I tried doing podcasts a while back, maybe like 4 years back, approximately. Maybe not exactly I don't know. Anyways, it was a while back, and it was actually going really well. And for some reason, I just stopped. I just didn't do it anymore, and I tried it recently again with one on YouTube, and obviously YouTube is not the most bestest spot to do podcasting, but it was good. It was cool. I don't know. And now I'm trying it again because I failed at that again and I stopped doing it, but I'm trying it again, and so that's a little bit of a podcasting background for me. I'm bummed out because it was just so good. It happened for a reason though, right? It happened for a reason. So I won't dwell on it too much, but I'm going to try and I think my sister's here now. Okay. I'm going to keep it going, and if it's my sister, then I will record it again. I'll begin to record. Anyways, so let's move past that. So, right, I'm a YouTuber, and a freelance editor, and that's basically a little bit about me. I mean, it's not really that interesting to talk about, but for those of you who know me, yeah. So on my Instagram, I asked. I'm just trying to get the energy up a little bit more because the last one was just great. It was just so good. I'm so sad. Even the street sweeper made a little cameo in it. And now it's, okay. Well, I asked on my Instagram if anybody had any questions for me, because I do a lot of videos about advice. So I asked if anybody had any questions that needed advice that I could ask on my next pieces of content, and here I am, bummed out. It just makes me so sad. But right, I said I wasn't gonna dwell on it. Stacy, don't dwell on it. And so here I am. I got two questions. One is from my friend Beth, and another one is anonymous. So I'll go ahead and answer the first one from Beth. And it said, "What do you do when you're feeling down and still want to put out content?" And so I learned a lot. I've been on YouTube for a while. I mean, I learned a lot throughout that entire journey. And I'm still on that journey, you know what I mean? So I have learned a lot. I've learned so many things. I've learned, what works for me and what doesn't, what works for my content and what doesn't, and what I love to create and what I don't, what would be me faking it and what would be me being authentic to myself. I've learned a lot through trial and error throughout the years. I've gone through ups and downs. I've gone through so many things that we just go through in life, you know what I mean? And for many things in our lives. And at many points in our lives. So, one of those things that I've learned is to just, when I'm not feeling happy, not to force myself to fake it and be happy, and to force myself to just get on the video and just be like, oh, hey, hey guys, I'm making a video today and I'm so freaking happy. And you know what I mean? I'm putting up a front, and it's not true. I've learned that it's okay for me to just take a step back and not post anything if I am not feeling me, if I'm not being me, if I'm just being fake, if I'm faking it. You know what I mean? I learned through so many things in my life that I've been through that staying true is the best thing that you can do. And so that's what I try to carry on through in everything that I do, especially my content. You know what I mean? Like, I'm happy being me. I'm happy staying true to myself, to who I am. But there's also another thing that I've learned along my journey, and it's just sharing exactly what I'm going through. For example, there are many times when I felt like complete crap, and I've been in bed, and I just grab my phone. I'm not fancy about it. I just grab my phone, a voice memo, and I just talk, and I just let my feelings out. And that's something that I plan to share with, across my YouTube as well. I have an idea in my head. It's a creative idea, super cool and stuff. No, not really. I mean, not, okay, I don't know what I'm talking about, but basically I do want to share it. I just have an idea for a video for it that I want to make for that specific video. But I do plan to share it. And it's a moment when I'm feeling so impatient. I'm feeling so sad because I want to be so much more. I want to be further in my career and everything that I'm doing. And I feel so discouraged. And so it's just raw emotion. And so I think that's one thing that maybe it could also work for you. No matter what you're going through, share it. Whether it's in a journal, it doesn't even have to be publicly, you know what I mean? Just get down and write your journal or in your diary, write about how you're feeling, how whatever you're doing and you're not motivated to do it right now because you're feeling so sad, how that affects you or how it's making you feel or why it's making you sad or what about it is creating these emotions in you. Write down all your emotions, express yourself. Now, if you want to do it publicly, like let's say you're a content creator or you just share your lives, write it in a post on Facebook or on Twitter or on Instagram, or post a picture or draw a picture or make a video, whatever it is. Find a way, find that outlet that works best for you and get your emotions out. You don't always have to, everybody knows we do not have 100% happy all the time, 24/7 day. Life. Everything's not amazing every single hour of the day. That is not how life is. And if anybody's going to tell you that that's how they spent their entire life, that they've never had a trouble whatsoever, they're fucking lying to you. Point blank. And yes, we are definitely going to cuss on here because sometimes it just pops out of my mouth and I can't help it. That's just, again, staying true to who I am, right? So, yeah, sometimes you're just not going to feel like doing anything. So me, when I'm not feeling happy, a lot of the times when you don't see me on social media is because I'm not me right now. I'm not feeling myself. I'm not happy, and I don't want to be on there and pretend like I'm happy or fake it or pretend to be somebody who I'm not or pretend to be in a situation or a feeling or have a feeling or whatever it is where I know that is not me. And so, sometimes when I am feeling sad, I'll post a picture of me and I look sad because I'm sad, you know what I mean? But I'm not faking it where I'm like smiling and enjoying life, quote unquote. And then in reality, I feel like complete shit and I'm sad and I'm crying behind doors. Like, no, I myself as a person that I am, because everybody's gonna be different. You know what I mean? You, everybody else knows themselves. Like, if you're gonna be authentic or not. But if you are gonna be fake, just do yourself the biggest favor ever and don't post anything that you honestly are not just truly standing behind saying, yeah, this is me. Hey, I'm being real here. I'm being authentic. Don't fake it. There's no need to fake it. Like, be yourself, because who you are is unique and that's fucking amazing. You know what I mean? There's no reason to want to be like somebody else or be somebody else or try to be somebody else, I should say. Just be yourself. That's the best thing that you could do, is just be a better version of you every single waking day. And through all that process of really getting to that understanding, that at that point in your life, you're going to learn about so much. There's going to be a lot of failed attempts. There's going to be a lot of ups and downs. And that's the beauty of life. That's the beauty of living your life. I said that funny. So, yeah, I think that if you're not feeling it, if you're feeling down, be open about it, show those raw emotions and talk about it. And that's amazing. I mean, you know how crazy it is that you can really share all these emotions that you're going through in this for the specific reason, or in your life it's for one thing, and then you put it out into the world, or you share it to your friends, and somebody else can immediately relate to it, and then there's that connection of you two being able to relate, but this person's actually feeling this because of their dog, or because of their, I don't know, their ice cream that fell on the floor. Like, there's that immediate connection, of that human connection of relating, and that's absolutely incredible. So there's always ways around it, you know what I mean? Like, just in the moment when you're feeling it, don't fucking be fancy. You don't have to sit down and make a vlog about it with like the best camera ever. Just grab your phone, grab your journal, grab a piece of paper, grab a napkin, and write out your feelings. You don't have to share it with anybody if you don't want to, but it does help. It really is therapeutic. Like, I'm not a therapist, I'm not licensed anything or certified or whatever it is, but I know what works for me. Why? Because I took the time to figure out what it is that works for me. That's what you have to do. Figure out what it is that works for you. If writing in a journal works the best for you, do you. Work on it. You know what I mean? Do that. Go to your journal when you're feeling like this. And I mean, the amazing thing today is that you can share everything that you go through, like your struggles, because you're not the only one struggling. There's so many others that are struggling. And again, with the relating, that's amazing. Like, you can relate to somebody struggling, and it's kind of a little bit of more of an empowerment, where you're like, oh, hey, so-and-so is going through this. Like, I am too. Like, let's push each other. Let's keep on going. You know what I mean? And sometimes I want to touch on this, because I touched on this in the last podcast, and I'm just thinking about it now because I transitioned to it really well in the last one, but now here I am trying to remember everything I said before. And that is, sometimes you do have to force yourself to do something, and that's separating what I mentioned about being fake. So don't force yourself to create content and push yourself to make something where you're just genuinely not being yourself, that you're just doing it because you know that you have to put something out, or because you want to put something out, or whatever that you have to put up a front. That's faking. You're faking your happiness. You're faking it. You're not being true to yourself. On the other hand, there's forcing yourself because you're lazy, or because you have an excuse. Like, for example, me, I had just finished some Cajun fries, and I came upstairs to my bed, and I was like, okay, I should really get down to that podcast, right? Because over the weekend I had said, on Thursday of last week, I was like, I'm gonna start the podcast. For some reason, I never did it on Thursday. Obviously, another excuses, I'm sure. More excuses. And then I said, okay, Friday. But then my nephews came over on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. They spent the night over the weekend. And so I was like, okay, there's no absolutely way that I'm going to be able to finish or to create this podcast and to record it, because I am in no state of mind. Like, it's too loud here. I can't do it. There's just tons of excuses, right? So today I was like, okay, no, I'm going to do it. But then I started on that whole little thing of having an excuse, like, oh, my phone's at 25%. Oh, okay. Well, I'll just import my endings to my vlogs right now. And then I was like, wait. No. Let's sit down and do the podcast. So here I am, 40 minutes and something other minutes later, because I don't want to delete it. I know I said I wasn't going to dwell on it. I know, but I can't help but just say it and mention it, because it's kind of like, damn it. But anyways, I'm just giving you an example. Like 40 minutes later, probably like 45 minutes now later. I don't know how long this has been running for, but now I'm sitting here and I'm doing it because I forced myself. I gave myself that little push, to do it. But I'm happy. I'm staying true. I'm in a good mood. Despite what may have occurred, that little bump in the road. Hey, I'm still like, you know what? At that moment when it happened, by the way, when the podcast deleted and I was trying to search for it everywhere, trying to bring it back to life, I was like, I had that thought in my head, and I was like, maybe I should just wait, and I don't want to do this again. And then I'm like, no. Like, I switched. Like, it's hard to explain, but like, I've gotten so much more in tune with myself and my mindset and my thoughts and my emotions and my feelings. So in a moment where I'm having a negative thought, and I catch myself, I can I was going to say instinctually, but I meant to say instantly. I can instantly catch myself, and instantly I can just be like, hey, let's evaluate what the hell's going on in your mind right now. And let's change that. If it's negative, we just switch it to positive. And yeah, it takes time. It takes a lot of work for that, but it's worth it. You know what I mean? You're working on yourself is fucking worth it. And a lot of us should really, really do that because it is worth it. It's so worth it working on yourself. And it's such just an amazing payoff. And it's just great. And it's an amazing investment in yourself, And so, yeah, I've been more in tune with my thoughts and, in changing my mindset or perspective on something and always trying to find the silver lining in things. I mean, granted, it's not always like that because like I mentioned, we're not perfect. We don't have rainbows and sunshine and unicorns all the time. It's not like that. Life just isn't that way. There's a lot of things that happen, a lot of obstacles, a lot of challenges, but it's a good thing that those things happen because if we didn't have them, we wouldn't be growing. We wouldn't have those opportunities to grow as a person, to better ourselves as a person, to learn what things are that do happen in life. You know what I mean? Like, there's just so much that we should be thankful for because of these trials and tribulations that happen to us and these events in life that happen to us, happen to us. Oh my gosh, I can't even speak. Because of that, that's what helps us grow. It's amazing that we have these opportunities. So I think we should really take advantage of that and really being in tune with your mindset and how you see things and just perspective and mindset, all of that, it really goes a long way. It helps. And, I think it's also with this whole, what do you do when you're feeling sad, when you're feeling down? Another thing that helps is just remember why you started in the first place. Start thinking about that. I think it's important to allow yourself to feel what you're feeling. It's very important because the minute we start blocking our feelings is the minute that we start, starting to overflow the little bottle that we have. Like when you just have had enough and like you just keep bottling everything up and bam, one day it just explodes. Like that's exactly what you're doing. You're continuously trying to fill up that little bottle little by little, then until it overflows. So do yourself a favor and allow yourself to feel what you're feeling. You're human. We go through this. Every single one of us on this earth go through this at one point in our lives. And like I said, if anybody's gonna sit there and say they haven't, that's complete bullshit. How do you think they learned to be more positive? Granted, there are people who are just born positive like all the time, but I'm sure even those people have had something that have made them feel a little bit negative, even if it meant that right after or right when they had that moment they switched it to feeling positive again. But yeah, I think, as I mentioned, I don't even remember if I mentioned this already or if it was the last one, but figure out what works best for you. You know what I mean? You the best. You way better than anybody else. What works for you. What doesn't work for you. Try things out that you haven't tried before and see how it goes for you. You know what I mean? Like, try it out. There's so many things in this world that could really help. Maybe you just need to take a step back, relax, and listen to your favorite songs or just watch a movie. Allow yourself to just press that refresh button and then get back up and try it and take a stab at it again, But I think one thing that is very important that I think a lot of us don't really think about, especially because we're not really content creators, or some of us aren't content creators or don't have no desire to be or whatever it could be, is just to really document the moment. That's what is so freaking amazing about today, is being able to document it via video or audio or podcast or in a book or a journal or diary or writing it down or a post or a picture, all the things that I mentioned before. It's amazing that you can do that and share that with the world if you want to. You don't have to share, like I said, as well. You could just be privately, write it down, but I think it's really cool that you can document that you were going through this down. Like me, many times in my vlogs, I have mentioned that I'm sad and I'm feeling discouraged and stuff, and I document it because my life is not 100% happy all the fucking time. It's not. You know what I mean? Like, it would be freaking amazing. The world would be such a better place if everybody could really honestly have a day where everything is just fucking amazing. But life is not like that. This world is not like that. And that's just reality. And we really have to accept that as soon as, we realize it. I mean, not even as soon as realize. You just know. We just have to accept it. You know what I mean? There's a lot of people out there who fake it, who fucking fake it and act like everything is absolutely amazing. But for some people, life really is amazing because it's all in how you make it, right? It's all in how you see things. But I know that there is not a single person out there who can say that every single day since they were fucking born on this earth, they have never had one bad day. And if there is, well, then I take back my statement. Or not my statement, but what I said. But I don't know. I mean, let's be real. The majority of us have bad days. We have feelings of sadness and depression and feeling down and just crappy, and we don't want to do shit and not feeling motivated to do something. So in those moments, document how you're feeling, you know? If it's not to document it because you are actually putting things out into the world, like you're what do you call them? What do you call it? I can't even think of it. An influencer. Then do it for yourself, to just write it down as a, you know, a little writing exercise or feelings exercise or emotions exercise. Do it for yourself, you know. And of course, like I said, remember why you started in the first place. But I think it's very important to just do that and try it, you know. And like I mentioned, try to see the silver lining in everything. There's always something to see. I just stuttered really weird right now. It made me lose my train of thought. But like, there's always something good to see in every situation that you go through. Like I mentioned before, okay, anyways, I was going to say it because I don't remember if I said it in this one or the one before. I know I'm sounding like a broken record, but I honestly, I can't remember if I said it, but you're always learning. You're always evolving. Well, you're always learning if you allow yourself to learn. You're always evolving. We're always changing. You know, we're constantly growing into our skin, and so, you know, we're gonna go through so many events in our lives, and a lot of them are gonna be completely life changing, and some are gonna be less changing and more changing, whatever degree it is of a change that, you know, there's just a lesson to learn through everything that we go through. And, you know, like, for example, it's raining outside today. And I personally love the rain. I think it's relaxing. I think it's beautiful. I think it makes like all the roses and the plants outside and the grass look just beautiful. And it's romantic to me. I love it. But there's people who hate the rain. Another example, my niece Itzy, shout out to you, I love you. I don't know if she's gonna watch this. Actually, no, I'm gonna send this to her so that she does watch it. I'm not gonna tell her what time he so she can just listen to the whole entire thing. I'm just kidding. I love you, Itzy. I already said that, I know, but anyway, I'm gonna use it as an example. So the rain outside, she hates the rain, right? But she can let that ruin her mood and be like, ugh, rain, freaking hate it, don't ever blah blah blah. Or she can see the silver lining in it and be like, oh my goodness, great, it's raining outside, but on the bright side, I can grab my favorite blanket, I can grab my kitty, shout out to little Tora, and, you know, cuddle up and watch my favorite anime or something. You know what I mean? Like, there's always a silver lining. There's always a way that you can look at something bad to see it as something, not necessarily, it doesn't have to be good, but it could be, you know, it could be good, or it could be it's okay kind of attitude, but like, I'll get through. Or like, there's just, you know what I mean when I say this, like, there's something good that could come out of that bad, so long as you allow yourself to see it that way. And I think a lot of us need to really see that, and a lot of us need to really know that. And well, you know, that is what I wanted to say. But like, yeah, just take a moment to realize that perspective really is everything. Like, you probably hear that, you know, or have heard that many times, but perspective really is everything. If you go into some situation with a negative mindset, obviously everything's going to feel so freaking negative for you. But if you go into something positive, it's going to be a lot more positive. Like, you're going to see a lot more of the brighter side of things, you know what I mean? So that's what I have for that. But for number 2 is from Anonymous, and the question says, how do you tell someone you like them without breaking the friendship you have with them? And this one is hard for me to answer, because there's so many things that go into this that I hope that I can really capture all of that. But this one is tough, because sometimes, most of the time, the friendship can end. And I know that you know this because that's exactly what you asked me, because if you didn't, you probably wouldn't have said breaking the friendship. So I know that is one thing that you are concerned about, and I think that is one thing that we if we're going through this, really need to keep in our mind that it could happen. The friendship could break, and sometimes that's what we really need to base it on. Like, do we want to end the friendship or ruin the friendship or whatever it could be if it does get ruined, or would you rather just have that person as your friend and rather than not have them at all? And so it just means you have to keep your feelings to yourself. So I don't know, if you're really 100% sure that you can deal with the consequences, good and bad, that come with this, then go for it. And I think that if you are ready to go for it and you said, no, I'm going to do this, I want to do this, and you're sure, then I think the best way to do it is to really do it in a way that you feel most comfortable with that person. So the bond between you two, between the friendship, your friend better than anybody listening to this. And well, if it's you, then you know your friend better. So I don't know the situation, and I don't know your friend, but you know you best, you know your friend best, and you know the friendship and how close you are. And if you find it more comfortable and easier to go to a coffee shop like you guys go to and just talk and chit chat, well, then go to a coffee shop, buy them a coffee or something, and just be open and just say, hey, I really just want to have a conversation with you, and I just want to express my feelings, blah blah blah. You know what to say. You be you. Remember, stay true. Stay true to yourself, and just be open. Be an open book and just talk if you're comfortable with that. That's why I say it's what you're comfortable with doing and how you are comfortable doing it, because that plays a big part. I know this is something that probably makes you uncomfortable, but you can find a way that makes you feel more comfortable and then go from there. For example, when I say your friendship, your friend best and the friendship that you two have and the bond and all that, for example, I say that's a lot with coming out of the closet. When people write to me and say, hey, I want to come out to my parents, or I want to come out to my friends, relatives, whoever it may be, I always say it's best for you to really evaluate each friendship, or each relationship, I should say, that you have with that specific person. Like, for example, if it would have been me with my mom, I would have had far more of a comfortable way of saying it to her if I sat her down and spoke with her, as opposed to my dad. I probably would have felt more comfortable writing out a letter. You know what I mean? So it's just different for everyone. And I'm not saying that that's how I would have made it happen or whatever, because that's not even how it went. But if I were to think about it back in my high school days, and that's probably how I would have felt most comfortable, because I didn't have a very close relationship with my dad, but I do with my mom. So everyone's going to be different. So that part of it is really something that you should think about when it comes to that, and go from there with each person. But if, sometimes it's okay to risk it. Sometimes it really is that risk that you need to take and just tell them, and other times, sometimes it's just a sacrifice that you got to make to keep that person, to keep that friend around, because you don't want to break that friendship, because most of the time that could really happen, because there's a lot of instances where, and I feel like I use that word a lot, instances, and evaluate, but there's a lot of instances, a lot of cases where a friend, let's say you're the friend that likes the other person. Excuse me, I burped. And you tell the person, hey, I like you. And then they come around and they're like, okay, well, that's a little awkward now. I can't see the same as a friend, because now I'm scared that you're going to like everything I do. You're going to be checking me out. You know how people have that kind of mentality. And then others will be like, oh, if you're have a very affectionate friendship, and then you confess your feelings for them, and then they're going to be like, oh, well, we can't really, it's just going to be kind of awkward, because now they're not going to really want to, hug you back in fear of, or, be affectionate with you in fear of you liking them more, or you thinking that they like you, or something to the degree. Or sometimes people won't care, or, there are those friends out there that are like, oh, I like to mess with your feelings, I want you to like me more, kind of thing. That's a whole different story. But I totally get why you're scared, because, it's true. Like, how do you tell someone without jeopardizing the friendship? And like I said, sometimes it's just a risk. Sometimes you just kind of got to keep it to yourself and save the friendship, if you really care for that person. But at the same time, there's nothing wrong with being open and telling your true feelings. Like, sometimes it could even strengthen the bond between you two as friends, because now you were honest, completely honest to them, and nothing changed. Sometimes things will change. I don't know. It's just, every case is going to be so different. But you really have to ask yourself what it is that you truly want, and if you're going to be able to handle it or not, any of the repercussions that might come with that. And yeah, in the end, just no matter what, even if you lose this friend, know that everything is going to be okay. And let's say that, for example, like, if you do decide to keep your feelings to yourself and you don't tell her or him or whoever it may be, them, that you have feelings for them, don't allow yourself to believe that it's always going to be this way, that you're screwed because now you're forever going to be in love with this person. Oh, maybe you will always have a place for them in your heart, or they will always have a place for it in your heart. But don't let this discourage you, is what I'm trying to say. Don't let it discourage you and allow you to believe that you're never going to find anybody else, because it's not true. Because one day somebody's going to walk into your life, and then you're going to be like, oh my gosh, my friend who? Like, what? I ever had feelings for that person? Like, it would just simply be a memory, or it would just be in the past, you know what I mean? So just ride it out, ride the wave out. If you decide to not tell them and keep it to yourself, because eventually, the feelings will fade. And sometimes they won't fade. That's just part of life. Like, you would just have to wait it out and see what your story turns out to be in that chapter in your life. But yeah, I think most importantly, if you're planning to tell them, weigh out the pros and cons. And if you say, no, I'm going to do this, then I think the best way is to, however you feel most comfortable. I think there's not much better advice out there than that, to do something when you're feeling comfortable. Yeah, they say, like, oh, if you're not breaking out of your comfort zone, then you're not growing. Sure, what I mean? But this is breaking out of your comfort zone, because you're not comfortable right now with the thought of you not telling them, you know what I mean? Or with telling them and then something breaking. And the friendship breaking. So yeah, it is pushing you out of your shell. But at the end of the day, it comes down to who you are as a person. Look, no matter what, just stay true. Just be open. Allow them to express their feelings. You express your feelings. You know what I mean? I allow them to ask questions, answer them. Just stay true. And I think that's really the overall message here, is just to stay true and to find the silver lining in everything that we go through. I mean, I hope I answered both of those questions. I know that I could have definitely probably answered them way, way better, and I probably missed a whole bunch of stuff that I had said beforehand, but I think at least right now I can give some people that are listening, some of you, some peace of mind, and that makes me happy, that makes my heart happy. And I really want to say thank you so much to Beth and Anonymous for sending me these questions, for taking a little bit of time out of your day to really write this out to me, because there's nothing that's far more like gratifying than for somebody to come to me and be like, hey, can I get your advice on this or something, or to ask a simple question or whatever it is. Like, it's great. It's a great feeling. And sure, I could just come up with like a topic off the top of my head, or other questions that I've gotten before, which those are the questions. I'm just always happy when I get questions, because it gives me the opportunity to really help someone out that might feel troubled by this, or has a friend that is troubled by this. And it's just like a question. It's just not something that I've decided to pop off on the top of my head, or that, if that even made sense. But excuse me, I ripped again. I had those occasion fries, I'm telling you. So, yeah, it just makes me happy that, I hope that you enjoyed this. And for you, whoever you may be listening to this, I just wanted to say thank you. Thank you for taking the time out of your day to press play on this and to listen to me and just hear my words and my tangents that I go off on, and me rambling. I just want to say thank you for choosing me to listen to today, and or right now, or tonight, whatever it is. Thank you so much for for giving me a little bit of your attention. I truly appreciate it. I thank you so much. And if anybody has any questions, please do send me a DM, most likely on Instagram, because that's where I would see it faster. With your questions. And if you could please write podcasts on there. I mean, I know I can turn any of these into a video or a podcast or a written article or something. But if you would like me to answer it in a podcast specifically, then I will be more than happy to do so. So please do write podcasts. You can write anonymous, like you don't want me to say your name or whatever it could be, or, so yeah. Okay, well, I'm going to end this here. And I'm not so sure if I'm going to edit this or if I'm just going to post it up, because I like this because it's kind of like I'm just having a conversation with you, because I'm recording on my phone, so I literally have it onto my ear like I'm talking on the phone. And it's just kind of like a raw conversation, except you're not really answering me, because obviously this is not, we don't have a conversation on the phone, but it feels like I am. Yeah, so I might just keep it like this, all raw and stuff. Or I might edit it. I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to even keep the name, which is On Her Mind, which that's what my first, I don't know if I mentioned that already, but, my podcast was, or is named the ones that I have up. So I might keep it this. I don't know. I really like that, but I don't know. We'll see as this continues to happen. I just wanted to get on here and record my first one and just start doing, instead of contemplating and making up excuses as to why I haven't done it yet, and overanalyzing everything, and overthinking, So, yeah, thank you so much for listening. I don't know if I'm gonna have like a little jingle or something. Maybe I'll use what I use for my videos, my intros and stuff. But, until the next podcast, thank you so much for tuning in. And stay tuned for the next one. And remember, if there's one thing that I want to call to mind, there are actually 3. No matter the highs, the lows, always be certain to do good, be grateful, and stay humble. See ya.